Hello there. My name's Mr. Egghat, and this is a story of a man called Burt. He's never been to the countryside, never even sniffed a chicken that wasn't in a plastic sock. And by that I mean I've never played Stardew Valley. I've never even watched a video about it. I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing, and neither does Burt. Our adventure begins with Robin and Lewis, who tell me that the house is a little crusty inside and then just leave me to it. Burt stares out over the wild, overgrown farmlands and begins to regret his decision. He'd also been informed by the good citizens of Stardew Valley that the 2 chickens he'd ordered off Amazon were already in the barn. He goes to check them out. Chicky and Grushenka. Bert's natural instinct is to feed the chickens some hay, so that's a good start. He also opens their little chicken flap and releases Chicky and Grushenka into the wild. Bert needs to make sure that Grushenka doesn't start a popular revolution in the valley, so he closes the gate behind him. The town centre is deserted. Bert has a real sensation of uncanny valley. He pops into the shop, buys some seeds from this guy, chats to some strangers, tries to go into the strangers' bedrooms and finds a weird chapel in the back of the shop. What? He walks down the street shouting in the faces of strangers, pops his head into the saloon, is absolutely offended by the price of a single beer — the countryside was meant to be cheaper than the big city — and is confused by the bartender mumbling about spaghetti. A bunch of weirdos in this town so far. Back at Little Egg Farm, Bert fiddles around with his tools until he realises how to till the soil, then plants his first parsnip seeds, and piddles on them with his watering can. He cuts down a single tree and becomes immensely exhausted. Bert is a frail, slightly pathetic little man, but some of the sunshine and hard labour in Stardew Valley should stiffen him up. Bert puts some fibre in the magical box where money comes from, although Lewis did mention something about sneaking by in the night to collect the goods, which is a bit unsettling. And then Bert heads to bed in this strange new house. The sheets are musty and the room smells faintly of chickens. It's not so bad. I made 18 gold. Nice. On day 2, Bert's got some mail from some guy called Willie about fishing. He waters his crops, says good morning to Comrade Grushenka, sells absolutely everything he owns. I don't blame Bert, he just wants more seeds and then heads into town. The shop is closed. Pierre is a lazy man, no wonder his shop is getting shut down, and Bert pesters the local townfolk. What do you want? Go away. No, my name's Bert. Hello? Speak to me, you little rat. Then he pops down to the beach to talk to Willie, who gives Bert a free bamboo rod, which Bert has no idea how to use. Hey Google, how do you fish in Stardew Valley? Eventually he does figure it out, and he catches a sardine which he eats straight out of his bare hands, wet and slimy. This is what nature is all about. He sells a spare fish to the creepy fishy Willie and is lured towards a slimy tub of worms. Well, it's a bin full of writhing, wriggling worms. It smells something awful. Bert wants to put his hand in there. On the way back home, Bert picks up some clams, tries to get into the lock sewer for some reason, who knows why, only Bert knows, and buys some more seeds from Pierre, who is finally behind the counter. Bert introduces himself to all the ladies in the town, even though he smells like fish. Back at Little Egg Farm, he tills some more soil, plants some seeds and waters them, and then watches television before bed. Fortune teller. Ah yes, I can hear the spirits whispering something to me. The spirits are very happy today. They will do their best to shower everyone with good fortune. Okay. Whoa, 150 gold for those clams. But we're rich. Not the loveliest day. Does that mean we don't have to water our crops today, Bert? Is that how plants work? Is that how weather works? Is that how the circle of life works? I think it is. What do we do on a rainy day? Can we get an umbrella? I don't know. Bert walks to town in the rain, picks up a quest to bring Emily a daffodil, and discovers that Pierre's shop isn't open on Wednesdays. Closed on Wednesdays? Pierre, no wonder you're getting shut down. What kind of shop closes on a Wednesday? It's in the middle of the week. Bert really must let go of his capitalist tendencies. This is the countryside, little man. Live in the slow lane. Chill out. He sits on a bench in the rain. Imagine a new guy moves into your small, close-knit community and you spot him out of your bedroom window sat on a bench in the rain with no coat on and no umbrella. Oh, Bert. Don't spend too long by the child's playground, Bert. Bert pops over the bridge to look inside the Jojo Mart. It's extremely bright inside and he hates it. And so after a very unsuccessful trip into town, he heads back to Little Egg Farm to cut down trees, as he would love to craft a chest for all of his things. Bert is a simple man and he gets distracted by the task at hand, but he is very happy to check in on his chickens to discover they've both laid a single egg. Huh? They do! Oh my god, our first egg. Unfortunately, he is confused by the simple principles of chicken life. We have eggs. If I leave them, do they grow? Like, do I leave them to grow? No, don't eat the egg. Do egg come from chicken? Do chicken come from egg? It is an unknowable science. Burt is a simple city boy. I have no idea. I don't know how chickens work. Burt doesn't know how chickens work. Well, we're rich. Burt crafts a chest, huzzah, and finds a daffodil on the way into town. Emily, whoever that is going to love it when friendly little Burt brings her a flower. Yes, she will love it. Where the hell does Emily live? Emily! Bert's got your flower. Hello? Miss Lady? No. Maybe she's in the saloon? After shouting in the rain for Emily in the town square, he finds her in the saloon. You brought me the item I asked for. Alright, you sound like a robot. Burt plays a video game in the saloon even though he has a million other tasks to do. Just like you, viewer, watching this video. And why haven't you subscribed yet? He walks home, uses up some energy cutting down trees before bed and goes to sleep. Bert's foraging skill is leveled up, so that's good. On day 4, he waters his crops, heads out to find Robin somewhere, gets distracted by this weird guy in his tent and a guy chopping at a large boulder. Burt does eventually find Robin's shop and notes down what he needs for a silo. Grushenka is one hungry little bird. Of course, Burt has no idea where copper comes from, though he can use some deductive skills to figure it out. I don't know where to get any of that from. Where'd you get copper from? Use your brain, Burt. Where does copper live usually? In a hole? Copper lives in a hole. Okay. I mean, there's literally a hole right there. Is that where I need to go? I mean, if copper was going to live anywhere, it would live in this hole, probably. But the hole is empty. Rather than get too stressed, Burt moves on with his life. When the copper is needed, he is sure it will call out to him, and he shall follow its song. He buys seeds, plants them, waters them with the disgustingly wet-sounding watering can, collects his eggs, of which he sells a single egg for handsome profits. 1 egg, praise the egg. 50 gold for 1 egg. Pretty good. On the morning of the next day, Burt gets some mail about a landslide. He'll probably need to check that out up north of the town, and harvests his very first produce from Little Egg Farm, a batch of gorgeous rump parsnips. He eats one right there, straight out of the dirt. That's our boy Burt. Obviously, Burt completely forgets about the mail in the box and heads in totally the opposite direction, to the south, to look for plants and veggies in the wild, I guess. He finds a single wild horseradish, this ruined old building, and the sewer. Poo hole. Burt, you stood in it. Burt buys more parsnip seeds, just presume from now on that this is something Burt does regularly, and finally makes his way up to the mines in the north. A fella is waiting for him inside and he gives Burt a sword and sends him down into a dark hole. Great. He mines rocks, collects some copper, gets beaten up by slimes. Burt doesn't know how to wield a sword, obviously. A week ago he'd never even been in a hole before, and then finds a geode which he needs to take to a blacksmith somewhere in town. After he gets a bit sleepy, he heads home, waters his crops before bed. Is that a sane thing to do? He doesn't know. And he dreams of level 1 farming and level 1 mining. Our Burt grows. His mind expands. The farm fills him. In the morning, a rather hulky man is stood on the doorstep who turns out to be the blacksmith. He instructs Burt on how to craft a furnace. The chaos of the last 2 days has meant that Burt hasn't properly fed Grushenka or Chicky or let them out of the coop, essentially neglecting his farm animals. To stave off any incoming inspections from the Stardew Valley Animal Protection Services, he gives them some more hay. I'm sorry, guys. Grushenka looks grumpy, looking a little thin. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm a bad chicken daddy. Chicken daddy? Don't neglect the chickens, Burt. Burt heads out towards the mine to get more copper, but Lewis pulls him over to the ruined community hall and their conversation is interrupted by a little green alien, and Burt is now fully convinced he's totally lost his mind. This throws Burt completely off, so he heads down to Clint the blacksmith and gets his geode smashed open by the good man. The hell's that? 5 stone. Can you get a car in this? Can I get like a Ford pickup truck or something like that? Then it's off to the mine where Burt spends the entire day collecting rocks and stuff. He heads home in the dark and collapses into bed, exhausted. Oh, long day. Good night, Burt. On the next day, Burt crafts a furnace, and his first copper bar. The fires of industry will spew forth from this gorgeous little village and consume them all. Burt does the usual morning rituals, waters crops and collects eggs. I won't show you these again unless something spectacular happens, and then checks the board in town. Jodie's after a red mushroom, probably to make some magical tea or something, knowing the nutters in this town. But Burt doesn't know where you can find them. It's also the old mayor's birthday today, so Burt goes and gives him a daffodil. What a sweet little man Burt is. He then takes his geodes to get absolutely destroyed by Clint and gets some weird minerals out of them, which he takes over to the museum, run by this guy who kind of makes Burt think of a sexually attractive falcon, maybe in a purple dinner gown. Don't ask, can't explain. Gunther loves random old shite, so Burt piles it up for him. Burt also gives a daffodil to the doctor. Our little friend Burt is pretty simple, I think, but he's very sweet. At home, he builds a scarecrow which talks to him. This scares the hell out of Burt, but he should be used to that kind of thing in this weird valley. What do you mean you can talk? You're a scarecrow, why can you talk? Are you okay, Burt? We just want to buy some seeds, but Pierre is refusing to serve any. Fine then, you lazy sod. Come back when Pierre's tending the shop. Pierre, I need to buy some seeds, you stupid man. Burt tills some soil and burns some energy cutting down trees. Night-night, little bee-dog. I can feel this game starting to eat into my soul. I'm thinking of all the things that I need to do. Uh-oh, I have Stardew-vitis. That chicken sound is really... a cockerel. Oh, I don't know if Burt likes that. Yes, I'll break the wall here. Stardew Valley has crawled under my skin like a very friendly parasite. I've been Stardew Valley pilled. Obviously I have. Anyone would be. Who will harvest the crops and look after the chickens if I'm not there to do it? Anyway, Burt goes back to the mine to grab more copper. He can now get the lift down to the 5th level, which is nice, and he finds an earth crystal. Don't know what that is. He murders a bunch of slimes, which are essentially just evolved plants, right? Like oysters, right? They don't have central nervous systems, right? A level down and Burt finds some boots, but he doesn't know how to use them yet, and with that he decides it's time to head home and get some rest. Let's get some rest. We sold a single egg. On the next morning, Burt heads out to Robin's shop because he wants to buy a well. But when he gets there, she's still sleeping, so he waits in the corridor of her own home for her. Nice to meet you, here's a flower. Oh, she just got out of bed. Wakey, wakey, Robin. I'm waiting for you in the corridor. Hello? Boo! I need to buy something from you, please. When she tries to leave, Burt tries to block her, but Robin is determined, and Burt is so weak. Instead, Burt wanders off in his ADHD-addled mind and meets Elliot at the beach, who spouts some pseudo-intellectual horseshit in Burt's general direction, and then takes Harvey a flower right in the middle of his medical inspection. No one even tries to stop Burt. Don't mind me, I know you're in the middle of an inspection, I've got a flower to give to you. What kind of town is this? He goes home and makes some basic fertilizer out of sap, chases Maru around with a small stone, and when she finally does take it off him, she just appeases Burt like a child and pats him on the head. When he gets home, Burt needs to burn off some energy, like a hyperactive child. Good night. Oh, in the morning, Marnie's at the door with a free cat that Burt calls Dudley. Dudley the cat. Typical cat to just sit directly in the middle of the room. Not next to the fire, not on the bed, just in the middle of the room. Good to know Dudley is as special as Burt. Then it's off to the mines for another day's hard labour. Burt does find some interesting things, though, like a chewing stick, an utterly irritating fly, and the Stardew Valley Almanac, which teaches him some things about farming. After a long day's work, Burt snuggles down in bed with Dudley and dreams of level 1 mining, level 1 combat, and level 2 farming. This also means we unlock the most important crafting station of all, the mayonnaise machine. Burt loves mayonnaise. He will become Stardew Valley's first ever mayonnaise millionaire. In the morning, there's a letter in the post from Jodie, who's lost her axe. Then Burt checks out the bookseller, but our boy Burt is way too broke to be buying any books. And then he heads into the countryside to look for some wild veggies. He is distracted by a couple of kids hanging out by the old poo hole. Oh. Ew, it smells. Yes, that's the poo hole, children. What was that? Poo monster. What the? There's a shite monster in the sewer, of course. Burt thinks it might be linked to the weird aliens in the community hall, and he heads over there only to find a note on the floor in a weird language. Gooby-doo. Stube. Ooh. Gee-you-jawul. Can't make sense of that, unfortunately. He spends the rest of the day searching the wilds for a single leek. He wants to craft some wild seeds. In the evening, Burt burns off more energy by cutting down trees and then falls asleep with his cat. Good night, Dudley. On day 12, Burt gets a letter from a wizard. Of course there's a wizard. Prepares his first batch of mayonnaise and receives news of an egg festival in town tomorrow. Well, goddamn, Egg is Burt's middle name. Burt does a couple of busy jobs while waiting for his mayonnaise to cream up, and then grabs it as soon as it's ready. Mayonnaise. Artisan goods. It looks spreadable. Burt loves mayonnaise. Drink a mayonnaise. Yes? It made me feel a little uncomfortable, but I would drink mayonnaise myself. I have drunk mayonnaise. Face covered in mayonnaise, Burt heads off to Robin's shop. He needs clay for a silo, but has no clue where to get clay from. He's sure he'll figure it out. The next batch of mayonnaise is destined for a shop rather than Burt's belly, and he makes a nice bit of gold out of his first sale. It's the egg hunt on the next day, and Burt tries his very best, but the snooty little Abigail takes the prize. Don't worry, Burt will get 'em next time, and so concludes that day. The next day is simple. Burt just spends all day in a hole. He makes a sweet 1,000 Gs from his potato harvest, though. Burt gets a letter from his nana in the morning, something about seasonal changeover, but Burt has no clue how long the seasons actually are, something he'll need to learn on the fly. Then it's off to get his geodes tickled by Clint, makes a donation at the museum. Gunther the Birdman gives him some cauliflower seeds, finds some cookies in a bin, oh scrumptious, and when he gets back to the farm he comes to terms with how soul-crushing it is watering his crops every day. He needs mechanization, automation. Sprinklers are the next goal. This is reiterated on the next day. Burt has a lovely field of crops, but there are so many now that he needs to make multiple trips to the river for water. He needs sprinklers and a well. Get to work, Burt. He chomps down on his lovely trash cookies, pops into Pierre's shop. Morris, the Jojamot bastard, is in here stealing all of Pierre's customers, and Burt wants to support the lazy shop owner, but after browsing his goods decides he doesn't actually need anything today. Sorry, Pierre, old buddy, old mate. It's back to the mines for Burt, who loves frolicking around in the mud. He also finds this fun little slime dungeon, and gets to work dicing the slimes into jello cubes. After eliminating an entire genus of slime, he heads even deeper into the hole, until zombies stumble out of the dark, and Burt decides it's about time to head home at around midnight. Thankfully, it's raining on day 17, which means Burt doesn't need to water his crops. Burt heads into town. I don't know where you get red mushroom from. Pam's birthday tomorrow, or she'd love a bottle of vodka. A rainy day also seems like the perfect day to visit a wizard, so he does. The wizard is a weird little guy. Here, I'd like to show you something. Behold. Have you got trapped there? You torturing him? You've seen one before, haven't you? Come here. Sniff it. Here, drink up. Let the essence of the forest permeate your body. Don't drink that, Burt. Look at his eyes. Look at the man's eyes. You drank it. You've gained the power of forest magic. Now you can decipher the true meaning of the Junimos scrolls. Ah, okay then. So they really are all just on some mad shite in this town, clearly. I think I'm just going to spend the day fishing. Ultimately, though, the wizard has granted Burt the powers of being able to read the Junimos alien text, so that's pretty cool, I guess. All of this leaves Burt feeling deeply philosophical, so he spends the day fishing, on the lake dock, catching smallmouth bass, and dreaming. New record. Nothing quite like the smell of the great outdoors and a beautiful lake. He catches an absolute chunk of a fish, 20 inches, then cuts down trees at home because he'd like to build that wooden bridge down by the beach. It's a particularly profitable morning, mostly thanks to the potatoes. Day 18 brings more fishing, this time right in the middle of town, a brand new backpack upgrade from Pierre's. Then he takes a look at the Junimos commands in the community centre. Burt is their slave, he presumes, and then it's back into the murky mines on the lookout for iron ore. Down in the ice, Burt finds a slingshot. He doesn't know how to make ammo for it yet, and encounters these cute little coal snuff balls for the first time. He gets some more iron ore, he needs it for sprinklers, and heads home at midnight. Burt tallies up his sales from a flower harvest, and on day 19 opens a letter from his mother. Several cookies fall out into the dirt. He smelts his first iron bar and crafts his first sprinkler. Oh, Burt is really coming up in the world. He will need to make adjustments to the layout of his crops for future harvests, of course. Next, Burt plans to build a bee house, but he needs maple syrup. Once again, he's sure maple syrup will turn up at some point. No need to stress. He grabs a bunch of wood and fixes up the bridge on the beach, collects all the coral and other goodies, and heads over to the saloon to have a cheeky Friday evening beer. Burt gets a little drunk and mumbles something in Sebastian's direction. I don't really know you. Yeah, and I'm a little bit drunk. The poor guy really doesn't like that. Give me another pint of your strongest. Oh, Pam, I like you. Would you like a flower? Come on, Burt, let's get you home. Burt drunkenly smashes down several trees and collapses into bed with Dudley the cat. On day 20, Burt is overjoyed to see his sprinklers in action. This will save literally minutes in his day. Burt takes Jody a cauliflower, which she pays him handsomely for. Jody, are you trying to seduce me with your bountiful cauliflowers? Then it's off to the museum for another donation, and then to Clint's to get his geodes whispered on. After all that, it's back to the mines. Burt desperately wants more iron ore so that the fires of industry can devour the valley. Burt makes an exceptional amount of money from flour sales, but it's clay he really wants. He spends the morning digging various holes around his property. Stanley Yelnap.
Say we dig one more hole.
Gunther gives him a geode decoration, nice, and the special Omni geode Burt had found just has some worthless stone inside. 5 stone. He picks up a topaz quest for Maru, then spots Haley by the fountain. This is your time to shine, ladies' man. For me? Thank you. No problem, my lady. Tips, Fedora. Excuse me, Robin, where do I buy more chickens? Burt doesn't buy anything from Robin. He's still too poor, and instead heads around town giving flowers to all the ladies. What a player. Here. Such a thoughtful gift. Oh, no problem. Just a flower I found on the floor. It smells faintly of piss. Flower for you. Flower for you. He heads home, collects his most recent batch of delicious homemade mayonnaise. Mayonnaise for the mayonnaise god. Then he admires his geode and gets to work hunting for clay outside. Don't mind me, just up late hoeing my dirt. God damn, we made a killing again on our cauliflower. Pretty nice. On day 22, Burt ponders whether to plant any more crops. He has no idea how long the season are and doesn't want to waste any cash. Burt checks the notice board in town. Hello, bookseller. I need one of your most powerful books, bookseller. You do not know about my need for powerful books, bookseller. The bookseller has nothing Burt needs, and he's still broke anyway. Hey, Pam. Man, Pam is a woman after my own heart. She's got like a little bottle of moonshine on the go out here. Burt is a little worried he's falling in love with Pam. He chats to a bunch of other people in town, delivers a topaz to Maru. She gives him a little sticker for Lewis's magic machine, and then heads over to the Jojo Mart in case she needs to chat to these people for the community board quest. Like, this person doesn't have a personality. Who are you? Do you live in the village? Are you a robot? Everyone else has a personality except this lady. Who are you? I want to know more. I feel sorry for you. Yeah, whatever, Shane. Burt digs up some treasure on the beach, gets yelled at by Emily for rummaging around in a bin, and then puts down some fertilizer in his soil. Even if he's not going to plant before the next season, he might as well get ready. Day 23 brings news of the upcoming flower dance, as well as some psychological truths from our man Burt. Is this the most unhinged farm you've ever seen in Stardew Valley? Possibly, but then Burt is probably the most unhinged man who has ever been to Stardew Valley. He heads into town to redeem his prize ticket, some free carrot seeds, nice, and heads over to Marnie's to try and buy some more chickens, but she's not there, and her silly little child just blocks the doorway. He plants the carrots as they grow very quickly, and it should still be spring when they're ready. Burt heads off to look for Robin's lost axe, and he bumps into Leah on the way. Hello, neighbour. Hi, Leah. Would you like a special leek? This is a really nice gift. We both live outside of town. Does that mean something? Yes, Leah, I think it does. I think it means we're destined for each other. Would you like an egg? Oh, I've already given her a gift today. Oh my god, I think Burt is falling in love with Leah. Someone has set up a hat shop in the ruined house, and Burt is very keen to purchase a lovely red cap to keep the upcoming summer sun from his pale, city face. Burt shouts into the sewer, no answer, and finds Robin's axe on the floor. He returns home. So we basically didn't achieve any of the tasks that I wanted to achieve today, Burt, but that's okay. Before bed, he watches a large owl pass overhead. Ah, beautiful nature. On day 24, he reads his mail. Hi, me sell hats, okay, Pokey? Come to old house, Pokey, bring coinies. Hat mouse. I already bought a hat, but thank you. It's been so long since I heard from you, dear. Things are much the same as ever back home. I miss you very much, love, Mum. Aw, nice. Then kills time waiting for the flower dance to begin. Burt gets right to it, trying to flirt and woo his way into the arms of a beautiful lady for the flower dance. Hi, Burt, glad to see you here. She says she's glad to see me here. I wonder if Emily would dance with me. Clint, my big dog, you just need to go ask her. Ask Emily to be your dance partner. I want to ask Leah, but I'll ask Emily. I'm very sorry, but I've already agreed to... Oh no. Burt has been rejected. Oh no. Yes, I want to dance with Leah. I'll be honest, I don't want to dance with you. Oh! It's like a dagger in the heart, Leah. You will rue the day. I'm going to give you so many flowers. Willie, you want to dance with me, old boy? Should have brought my fishing pole. You can use my pole. No. Now this is the sweet life, huh, kid? Sweet wine, a babbling brook, warm air. Did I mention wine? You did. Do you want to dance with me? Maybe? You want to... No? Frog season is really starting to pick up. Now this guy is weird, man. That's flattering, but I'm going to have to say no, sorry. Well, that's a good thing, Burt. She's literally a teenager. Can I be your king? Ew, no. Oh, poor Burt. Oh, no thanks, but no. Yes, let's start. Burt is forever alone. He's dancing with Leah. I can't tell you who anyone is. Everyone has pixelated heads, man. I don't know who's who. Stupid dance, anyway. Burt didn't want to dance anyway. Burt kills some time in the morning while waiting for Marnie's animal shop to open, runs inside and buys 2 chickens at 9 AM on the dot, then heads down to the beach to try his hand at some deep-sea fishing. He gives Robin her axe back, what an upstanding citizen, and tidies up his farm for a little bit. This is good for your mental health, but also Burt wants to find clay, so he can finally build a silo to feed his brand new chickens. He says good morning to his new chickens, then heads over to Robin's with his final bit of clay to purchase a silo. We're insulated from the rest of the world here in Stardew Valley. Maybe that's a good thing. No, Demetrius, it's a cult. A cult of freaks. Then it's back down into the ice caves. In a slime dungeon, Burt very almost dies. Oh, I almost died. He heads home covered in green slime, tail between his legs. Burt must bring more supplies with him on his next adventure into the caves. He picks up what he needs to complete one of the Junimo tasks at the community centre and gets a lovely bunch of spring seeds as a reward, just in time for summer. It's also time to sell off all the goodies he has been stockpiling for a couple of days. Burt is really chasing that dopamine hit, you know. 3,709 gold. Whew. On day 27, he's straight back down into those caves. He defeats this powerful slime and unlocks a badass new sword, and gets some new boots from this chest also. Burt gets pretty tired out after all that and makes it on his way home, only to collapse at the front door because he was telling Robin off for working through the night. Oh, Robin, you don't need to be working at 2 AM. It's really not that much of a rush. Oh no, I just passed out. Oh. He wakes up to a bit of disconcerting mail that Linus, the weird guy who lives in a tent on the edge of town, walked all the way down to the farm, found Burt on the floor asleep and carried him inside. Someone ran off with some of Burt's money too, apparently. Burt checks out his new silo, harvests some grass, which now turns into hay, lovely jubbly, and heads into town to get his geodes tickled by Clint. He takes all those new minerals over to the museum, and Gunther gives him some starfruit seeds, just in time for summer. Burt runs down to the beach just to give Elliot an egg for some reason, then runs all the way to the other side of town to head back down into the ice caves. Burt commits war crimes against slimes, assaults a ghost, and finds a diamond. He heads home and dreams about farming, which allows him to pick a new trait. Burt goes for the farming one to improve his output for farmed crops. And now it's summer. The world is sun-bleached and gorgeous. The sound of summer flies fill Burt's ears. To celebrate summer, Burt buys 50 blueberry seeds and grabs an ice cream. Then it's time to get working on his summer farm. 6 mayonnaise for 1,000 gold. Oh my god, we're going to be mayonnaise rich. We need more chickens then, surely. In the morning, Demetrius is at the door offering to grow mushrooms in Burt's hole. So of course Burt says, yes please, put those mushrooms in my hole. Watering the crops takes ages now. Burt needs a well and some more sprinklers as soon as possible. He heads over to Robin's to try and buy a well, but like always, she's not at the desk. So Burt resists the urge to destroy her home and heads over to Clint to get his axe upgraded. Burt heads down to the beach and tries to give a handful of his special sap to Haley and Sam and Elliot, but they all refuse his special sap. He does find this cool shell though, which he gives to Leah because he loves her. Then he goes for a lovely summer walk to collect some new forageables and uses his enormous brain to figure out how sprinklers can be placed in the most optimal fashion by carving out the pattern with his hoe on the ground. He is not successful. Burt is not a scientist or even really that smart. There has to be some method. Burt can figure it out. His brain is enormous. Isn't it, Burt? He pops over to the community centre, hands in the spring crop bundle, goes to Robin's, she's still not there, and he wants to buy more seeds at Pierre's, but the lazy bastard is not working either. Come back when Pierre's tending the shop. There's an earthquake during the night, and Burt doesn't really seem that bothered. Maybe the earthquake was Lewis dropping his pants, as he appeared to have lost his shorts. He pops over to the mushroom hole. No mushrooms yet. Does he need to plant them? Who knows? And he finally buys a well from Robin. Excellent. Burt does a bit of fishing in his pond, but catches nothing but trash, so he tries the lake, where he wages an endless war with this massive pike, until he does finally catch the bitey little bastard. He fishes for the entire day. It's a horrifically wet and stormy day on the next day, so Burt heads out to buy more seeds. Look at his beautiful farm. He picks up his copper axe and hands over the pickaxe for upgrades and heads down to the beach to fish for the entire day. Nothing better to stand at the end of a jetty and fish in a thunderstorm. Absolutely nothing can go wrong, Burt. He uses his brand new axe to chop away some of those large unsightly stumps on the farm. It gives him some hard wood and some decent materials for crafting as well. As he sleeps, he dreams of foraging level 4, which means he can craft a tapper now, allowing him to suck the trees for all their goodies. First, though, he gets a letter from our beloved Fishy Willy, and he heads over to the guy's house to see what's going on. Come in, make yourself at home. Aye, that's good stuff there. The fish go through there. Make sure to wash your hands good after dipping them in those juices. Your aroma's been known to linger up to 7 weeks, lad. Fishy. He chats about fish an awful lot and tells Burt all about some secret device in the back room. Burt doesn't really want to know what it is. He goes fishing for the rest of the day. In the morn, he's received a letter informing him that his farm will feature in an upcoming magazine, Best Farms in the World, or something along those lines. You know what will make the farm even better? If Burt gets to suck some trees, but to craft the tapper he needs copper, and to get copper he needs to collect his axe from Clint. And when he heads towards the mines, he gets distracted by a new open path. Oh, this is what happened during the earthquake, surely. It leads him to an empty bathhouse. It's giving Studio Ghibli right now, so Burt goes for a swim. Outside, he finds this weird little guy with lovely little feet guarding a hole in the cliff. Other than that, Burt has no idea what's going on over here, and now he's run out of time to go mining today. Putting it off no longer, he heads immediately down the mines the next day. When he gets home, he crafts a tapper and hooks it up to the maple tree because he wants maple syrup to build a bee house so that he can create his bee army. Burt really only likes the juice of things: egg juice, mayonnaise, and bee juice, honey. He wonders what else he can turn into juice. Burt loves juice. On the next day, he buys a new fiberglass rod from Willy, which has a slot for bait, improving his fishing speeds. He gives Leah some grapes, what a charmer. Then it's time to test out his new rod. Nothing to report on here except for some lovely river jelly. River jelly? The hell is that? A rare jelly found in fresh water. On day 37, it takes Burt a long time to water all of his crops. New sprinklers and a better, more optimised farm layout are basically a must at this point. He walks into town and eats a fistful of river jelly, then goes fishing for a couple of hours, once again waging an endless battle against these gnarly pikes. Burt changes his fishing spot, rummages through the bins in town, and his one-man mission to woo Leah continues on the beach, when he tries to give her a sea urchin, but she's not impressed. On the way home from the beach, he stops to rummage in a bin and finds some lovely bin algae. A life form is growing at the bottom of the bin, and Burt will eat it. Level 4 fishing. Nice. In the morning, he gets a letter about a luau or something coming up on the beach, and wants to craft some deluxe bait for better fishing. But Burt isn't sure where to get moss from. Instead, he builds a worm bin and then heads out to go fishing, making worms in the worm bin. How will he pay for his mayonnaise empire without going fishing? He keeps himself fueled up with the algae he drags out of the lake. Scrumptious. He wakes up, collects his worms, does his morning chores, and goes hunting for moss again. He eventually spots some on a tree trunk, and he uses this moss and worms to craft deluxe bait. Then it's time to go and check out this potluck on the beach. Burt chats with the villagers, but it's the wizard who speaks of the most interesting nonsense. Something about mer people. Burt will have to come back and investigate. And then Burt pours an entire jar of his special mayonnaise into the soup pot. Fortunately, this goes down a storm and everyone's pretty damn pleased with the mayonnaise soup. Ah, that's a very pleasant soup. Nice, he loves my mayonnaise. Everyone loves Burt's mayonnaise. The day after the mayonnaise soup masterclass, Burt is inspired to make even more mayonnaise, so he heads over to Robin's to buy a coop for more chickens. He'll need fish to pay for his coop expansions, as well as to get his geodes massaged by Clint and make some donations to Gunther. Then he accepts a quest for Jodie. 1 Willow Lane. Oh, she's the cooker lady, isn't she? The spicy mama. Oh, you saw that I posted. Here's your payment as promised. No problem, Jodie. Go and feed your children some proper food. It's a gorgeous rainy day on the following day, which means he doesn't have to water his crops. Burt uses this extra energy to get back down into the mines. The mines resume as normal, finding artifacts and ores. Iron ore is particularly important as he needs it for sprinklers. This continues for the entire day, and he heads home when it's late. My throat's about as dry as a desert bone. I'm real thirsty for a pale ale. You got one? Regular old beer won't do. I need a pale ale. Yes, Pam, I can get you a pale ale. Perhaps. I don't know. Oh my god, look at my bloobs. Oh, it's raining bloobs. I'm gonna be so rich. 123 blueberries. Oh my god. After that monster blueberry harvest, 123 bloobs in total, Burt heads over to the museum to donate his dwarven scroll he found in the mines. Dwarves are canon in Stardew Land. And gets his geodes manipulated by Clint, unearthing some interesting iridium ore, although Burt doesn't know what to do with it yet. Burt spends the rest of the day gathering the materials needed to craft a recycling machine, which will hopefully turn his useless fishing trash into useful items. He sleeps and unlocks the recipe for quality sprinklers and makes a whopping 10,000 gold from his blueberry harvest. When he wakes up, the world outside looks a little strange. Green rain has descended on the valley. Plants and ferns and giant weeds have sprung up all over the place, and Burt gets to work with his scythe to make the most of this fascinating situation. He also finds these weirdly curly trees and says hello to the scared villagers seeking shelter in the saloon, waiting for it all to blow over. Burt spends the rest of the day and all of his energy cutting down trees and harvesting plants, which allows him to unlock the forester trait while he's sleeping. On day 44, he needs to spend a bit of time just clearing up the explosion of foliage on Little Egg Farm. He also checks the recipe for quality sprinklers, but they require gold bars and refined quartz, items he doesn't have much of right now. The recycler can turn trash into refined quartz, so he fishes well into the night and earns the fisher trait while he sleeps. Day 45 beckons a new dawn for Little Egg Farm as he populates the new chicken coop with 4 baby chickens. Wallaboo! Then it's back over to Robin's place to upgrade his house to the next level, and he's also reminded by Demetrius that he should go check out his lovely little mushroom hole. Oh yeah, he just reminded us about our mushrooms that I completely forgot about. First though, he says hello to the new chicken troops, then goes fishing, boosting his energy by sucking the gloopy insides out of eggs as he goes, and finds a sign for the upcoming fishing derby. Burt will want to partake, of course. He also goes for a gentle summer's evening walk, purchases a new cowboy hat from the hat shop, and eventually does harvest the mushrooms from Demetrius's mushroom hole. The next day is an ordinary morning routine, as well as saying hello to the new chickens. Need to move that over once Robin's finished working on our house. We're not going to keep them trapped inside forever, don't worry. Don't worry, Burt will rearrange the farm at some point so the chickens have somewhere outside to frolic. Burt does not run a battery farm. Burt tries to give a gift to Linus, who is quickly becoming one of Burt's favourite faces in the town, but it doesn't go to plan. Then it's down into the mines to face off against new enemies, skeletons this time, but mostly same old in the hole, ores and such everywhere. He gets a little spook on the walk home. What the hell was that? There's a big rat. It's enormous. Big as a dog. Level 7 farming. Watering can, hoe. New crafting recipe loom. Whoa, we made 10,000 off our farm. A lot of the blueberries. On the morning of the next day, the tapper has finally collected some maple syrup from the maple tree, which means Burt can finally house some bees on the farm and collect their lovely bee juice. Then it's over to big, beautiful Clint to get our steel pickaxe upgraded, and our geodes absolutely flummoxed by the big man. Burt pops into the museum to donate a few things and says hello to the children. What are you up to, kids? Burt, oh, yeah, they panicked as soon as I walked over. I don't know you. Yes, you do, you little... Yeah. I love presents, thank you. No problem. Would you trust Burt the mayonnaise man with your children? No, probably not. Burt buys a crab pot because he's quite curious about them, and he leaves it out on Willie's dock with some worms inside. Burt finds a lovely shell on the beach, and the first thing that comes to mind is Leah, so he hunts down the poor lady and tucks the shell into her hand, as if Burt is a small child trying to impress an older sibling. On day 47, he wakes up in a much larger house, and this one even has a kitchen. There's a letter from Demetrius asking for one of Burt's voluptuous melons, and Burt completes his morning chores and rewards himself with a fried egg from his brand new kitchen. Fried egg. Nice. Mr. Egg hat. He's got it on his hat. The egg on his hat. Yummy. Then it's time to start fishing during the derby. He gets a book called Jewels of the Sea, his first golden tag, and some fish roe. Rainbow trout roe. Fresh fish eggs. These can be aged in a preserves jar to bring out more flavour. He turns in the golden tags and gets a tent kit, which might be useful at some point. His next tag gifts him 2 espresso shots, which are pretty scrumptious. He fishes well into the evening and dreams of level 6 fishing. The following day is of course more fishing in the trout derby. He fishes all day, gets a diamond and a bone flute from some chests, and eats the fish eggs stood overlooking the river. Catch the fish and eat their eggs. Burt is a monster. He fishes until he can't fish anymore and turns his tags in to get some very interesting rewards indeed. Warp totem. Nice, some more geodes. New hat. Nice. It's a rainy day on the next day, which means he thankfully doesn't have to water his crops. His chicken fence has completely fallen apart, but that's okay. He's more of a free-range kind of guy anyway. There's also a letter from our sweet Willie about fishing gear. Clint tickles Burt's geodes, then Burt can donate more stuff to the museum, and he gets some fun rewards in return. Flute block, singing stone, jade hills. Nice, some goodies. Then it's up to the mine to burn some of the energy he saved from not having to water his crops on this rainy day. He can now break down this rock with his new pickaxe, and there's a weird little dude back there. Burt pushes deeper into the mines, finds these sweet new boots, and encounters some spectral new void-like enemies. Who are you, you little weird little guy? Right there. They hit pretty hard, and it's fairly grim this deep in the hole, but there is a lot of gold, so that's nice. He heads home when it's late and puts down his new sparkly stone. Furiously tapping away, Burt, are we? Furiously tapping? At night, Burt hears a plane fly overhead and a bunch of boxes fall from the sky. What are they? It's a mystery. In the morning, he tidies up the broken fence around his chicken enclosure. Then it's time for some geode fondling with old Clint and more donations at the museum. Burt gets a lovely big blue bear for his troubles. Burt scoffs an ice cream, then heads into the mines, not all the way down this time, just to level 20 to harvest bug meat for more fish bait and copper ore. At home, he puts the big creepy blue bear in his bedroom, where it belongs. On the next morning, Burt can hear a rumbling train in the distance, and he runs through the town to see if it stops, but it trundles on past. He begins to think that he is trapped here forever, in this Stardew Valley fever dream. He checks out Robin's house and wants to buy a stables, but he needs more hard wood. There are a few stumps on the farm, but hardly enough to get 100 hardwood he needs. Burt gives Demetrius a big throbbing watermelon, sits on the swings for a moment, heads to the beach to collect a creature from the crab pot, and gives Leah a spice berry, because he loves her. Yes, nice, she liked it. Oh, God, that made me jump, but it's just my flute box. Day 52, Burt really feels like he's settled into a good routine. He smelts ores, turns eggs into mayonnaise, waters and harvests his crops. He is a whirlwind of productivity. There is so much to do, and he simply cannot stop. Burt is becoming a whirlwind of efficiency. With 2 coops and 8 chickens, he's going to need more mayonnaise machines. But before he can do that, there's also a letter in the post from Old Man George asking for a spicy pepper to wipe into his bear's skin. Burt does think that's a little odd, but who is to deny an old man his pepper fetish? Who the hell's George? Oh, he's the old man, isn't he? He crafts another mayonnaise machine in the end and loads it up with egg. It really is an immense flurry of activity. Burt would love a little helper. Okay, I haven't watered my crops yet. Oh, there's too much to do. This game is extremely compelling and very, very Moorish. Like a tasty jar of mayonnaise I must just keep dunking my fingers in. Don't worry, Burt, we're gonna up the efficiency of your farm soon. Now we've got 3 mayonnaise machines on the go. Burt wraps up his tasks and heads into town. Oh! He rummages through a couple of bins on the way and finds some treasure. Excuse me, just walk away, please, so I can rummage in the bin, please. Mackie roll. Oh, trash sushi. The best kind of sushi. The sushi pulled from a bin. Who are you? Alex. I'm getting pretty strong, yeah. You admiring Burt's muscles? His muscles? Hello, Klimt. Whoa, did you see that speed running processed geodes I just did? That was crazy. Let's just get that in slow motion. Burt gets some ancient seeds from Gunther, another mystery, but one he's keen to check out, and he heads home to do a bunch of admin, including processing loads more mayonnaise. He also chops down some trees because he'd like to start putting up fences. Just decoration, of course. Got to give Clint his gold ore. Go, 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 go. Oh, I need to give the gold to him. Oh, I put the gold away. Oh dear. Burt is rather forgetful, but he does hand over the pepper to Old Man George first. Then he runs back to the farm to get the gold, runs back to Clint, who is now in the saloon, but realises he asked for 6 gold and not 5 gold, so he gives up and heads outside. 6 gold ores. Ah. Oh, Linus is looking through the bins. Linus, our friend from outside of town, is rummaging through the bins. He tells me it's because he doesn't want food wasted, so we say to him, you know what, old buddy, old pal, I also love rummaging through bins, so go right ahead, I'll join you next time. Then Gus pops out of his shop and gives Linus some aubergine, so maybe Gus isn't a widow after all. It's a pretty sweet interaction, and Burt goes home with a big warm smile on his face. Ooh, okay, let's get some sleep. There's a lovely storm in the morning, and Burt gets right to harvesting his mountain of delectable blueberries, and of course some curvaceous melons. He spends quite a lot of this day cutting down trees, doing general chest administration, and figuring out what he needs for the rest of the community centre upgrades. He turns in the summer foraging bundle and unlocks the bulletin board, but he doesn't know how to get any of this stuff. It will come in time, he assumes. Burt also has enough gold to unlock this safe, whatever it does. Unlocking the bundles inside does give some good rewards, though. Chocolate cake! Insert a gem of your choice and it will grow copies. Quality fertilizer. Lightning rod. He head back to the base Sharpish to place down the lightning rod before the storm comes to an end. Boop. Here. Oh, okay. I mean, that chocolate cake is looking a little sus. And by that I mean it looks like poo. Burt also places down the crystallarium and places a diamond in there, so it will grow, apparently. He's not entirely sure. Burt is running on fumes mostly, just like the rest of this crazy town. Shane wants a tomato. Boo! He heads into that town specifically to give Shane a single tomato, and then goes home with big plans for the coming days. Boo! As he sleeps, he has a vision of the weird little alien dudes dancing around the bus. Before he can go and check it out, though, he heads over to Robin's to get a big coupe. He won't start working yet because there's a festival coming up, apparently. So Burt says, alrighty then, and goes to check out this bus. Oh, hello, Pam. You're gonna come to the desert with me, Pam? Oh, she drives the bus. Okay, here we go. The alcoholic is driving the bus. Fantastic, I feel... Where are we? What the hell is this? Hi there. Requires Omni Geodes. Okay. Burt wanders around the desert like a curious child. He finds Oasis, a weird shop where he can buy some beet seeds, which is great for the upcoming fall season. But even though he's Burt, the king of Pelican Town, world-renowned farmer, slime slayer, and all-round mayonnaise god, the bouncer won't let him upstairs. Instead, Burt checks out this cave, but it's all locked up and he doesn't know how to get in. All in all, a fairly unsuccessful trip to the desert, but that's okay because Burt is a simple fella, and it was a fun day out. Cheers, Pam. Thanks for not crashing horribly. Ooh. He gets home and tries to sort out his chest, but there's just so much shite. And when he checks out Robin's for a big chest recipe... Why? Big chest. 5,000! Oh. Instead, Burt goes fishing, and smelling of fish, he heads to the saloon to give the love of his life, Leah, a delicious sweet pea. Something spicy, you say? To do that, would you need a sweet pea, perhaps? This is a really nice gift, thank you. He gives Pam a fistful of slightly moist algae. Now this is just absolutely despicable. She is not pleased, understandably. She's drunk and angry. Lewis, what would you like? Would you like some grapes? That's very nice of you, thanks. No problem. Okay, well that's my nightly routine done. Let's head on home. Head on home to the other side. Ooh. Burt spends the rest of the evening organising his chests and then hands in the summer crops bundle to get a free sprinkler. Very nice. Ooh. On the next day, he gets a letter about some dancing glowing jellies, one of Burt's favourite things, who would have guessed, and he heads over to Clint's to get his geodes and mystery boxes absolutely decimated by the big, greasy dog. Honk. Ooh, pumpkin soup. What up, Linus? Would you like this beautiful berry? This is a great gift, thank you. No worries, buddy. This is an easier time of year for me. I don't have to worry about staying warm. You ever need a place to stay, Linus? Let me know. I've got a lovely chicken coop. After chatting to Linus, he heads into the mines. And well, ooh, what the hell are you? Hello? Prepare for the worst in 3, 2, 1. I died. Burt? Burt, wake up. Oh, Linus. Oh, I lost my pumpkin soup. The slime stole my soup. Absolutely shocking, Burt. I put my hands up. I am at fault. I am sorry, Burt. Your egg overlord has failed you. I am useless at Stardew Valley PvE. My many years of Diablo training have failed me. Clearly, I am not skilled enough. When he gets home, he feels pretty sad, so he chucks a jar of mayonnaise. That's better, Burt, that's better. Let the cream of a dozen chickens fill your mouth. Burt prepares for the moonlight jelly dance by putting down a crab pot and having a special plate of Gus's swirly spaghetti before the show begins at 10 p.m. When it's dark, Burt heads down to the beach and watches the jellies come in. Wow, Penny, why don't you just go and be a jellyfish then? Oh, hello, guys. Burt basks in their fleshy jelly light and ponders a successful year so far on Little Egg Farm. Here's to new friends, new adventures, and of course, new mayonnaise. Ah, the first day of fall, or as us Brits say, autumn. It has arrived with a whispery wind and the soft falling of orange leaves. Burt gets busy, clearing up his now dead farm. A new season, a chance to start again. He crafts a bunch of quality sprinklers and lays out his farm, then plants a bunch of pumpkin seeds. Ah, so it all begins again. He decorates his home with a couple of the things he bought in the desert. The evenings are much shorter now, and Burt works on the fields until it's dark. He has plans to make some kegs, but to make kegs he needs pine tar, and to get pine tar he'll need more tappers, so that's another task to dig into before drifting off for a cozy autumn sleep. Burt places them down on some pine trees and some oak trees once he's crafted those magical tappers. On the next day, Robin has left him a note saying that his coop is now upgraded and that there's an incubator inside. Finally, not every chicken must be turned into mayonnaise. Instead, a single egg every few days can be rescued, given life, and become one of Burt's children. As he pops into town to buy fall seeds at Pierre's, he's interrupted by Lewis and Robin, who've constructed a special orders board where Burt can complete special tasks for the villagers. Unfortunately, the first 2 orders are a little out of his league, so Burt just gets on with his life, buying an absolute shedload of fall seeds for the new season. He also grabs an apple sapling for good measure. Burt plants seeds, checks on his mushrooms, and heads out on an autumnal walk. He remembers that Penny had requested a bream, so he goes on a hunt to find her and give her one. Oh, there she is. Or is that Haley? I actually have no idea who anyone is. Hi. Something smells weird. Yeah, that would be me. I have a bream in my pocket. Yeah, okay, see you later. Eventually, he does find Sweet Penny and grabs the ticket, which he turns in for an orange sapling at Lewis's house. He plants the tree next to the apple tree, out the front of the coops. In the morning, his mum has sent him some cake in the post. Don't ask how that works, as well as some fertilizer from Jody and a quest for some amaranth for Marnie's big heifers. Burt heads into town to buy some more seeds. Closed on Wednesdays. God damn you, Pierre! I'm just going to go to the Jojo Mart. No, I won't. I'll resist. With nothing else to do, he decides to go to the mines, which he battles through and finds a new sword, a level 6 slaying machine. Burt battles on, collecting ore and other goodies, and leaves the mine at 1:30 in the morning, only to collapse in a sleepy pile outside at 2 in the morning. Oops. Burt doesn't mind, because on the next morning, there's a glorious sight to behold. Look, Burt, you don't need to water any of your crops. They're simply watering themselves. Okay, I found you last night. Yeah. Thank you, Linus. My good friend. Always looking after me, this sweet little Linus, isn't he? Burt goes about his normal tasks, like buying seeds, tickling Clint, and handing over goodies to the museum man. Hello, little person. Would you like an egg? Thanks, this looks nice. No worries, Penny. I just love how strange that is. Just runs through the town and just says, would you like an egg?
I'll offer you a nice egg in this trying time.
He waters his crops, gives Willie a frozen tear, and that's about it for this simple day. The days are much shorter now. On the following day, Burt heads down into the mines with floor 100 as a goal. After a day of battling, he reaches floor 100 and finds a magical fruit. You found a star drop. It's strange, but the taste reminds you of eggs. Your maximum energy level has increased. Hell yeah. Alright, let's use one of these totems to get home before I fall asleep. He uses one of the farm totems to get home quickly, but is teleported to an area that he can't escape because he's left his axe in one of the chests. This means he just stands there and waits to collapse from sleepiness with the hopes that his hero Linus comes and rescues him. Oh no. He buys a duck on the next day to go in his new large coop. Felled in the duck. Duck eggs produce duck mayonnaise, which is even tastier, even creamier than regular mayonnaise. Burt also bought a radiator for his chicken army just to prepare for the coming winter months. Burt is a good chicken daddy. All the hard work has made Burt lose his mind a little bit, or is that just the woozy effects of Stardew Valley? It's hard to tell. A wild plum. With nothing else to do, he heads down into the mines, and in the mines he perishes. Oh dear, Burt, you're getting your butt beat by slimes again. Come on, Burt, you gotta stop dying, buddy. It's raining on the next day, and Burt goes off over to Buff Daddy Clint's house to get his geodes pummeled. He buys pumpkin seeds, heads home, plants them, then heads back to the mines. It's a more successful run this time, and Burt reaches level 110 and this pair of space boots in one healthy piece. It's very dark, very atmospheric. On day 64, Burt accepts a quest to make Gus's magical 24-egg omelette. Burt is the egg man after all. Then he hunts down Sebastian to give him a piece of corn and goes fishing for the rest of the day. On day 65, he receives a letter about the upcoming Stardew Valley fair, and that he should prepare some items. Burt wants to fill his entire stand with nothing but mayonnaise, but at the same time he wouldn't mind a big fat prize. The news of the fair reminds him that he needs to organise his chests desperately, so he begins. Of course, he gets distracted after about 30 minutes and builds 2 kegs instead, which he places some cranberries in to make some yummy cranberry wine. He needs to do something else with his day, so heads over to the museum and gets a rare crow as a reward. Interesting. Then it's back to fishing until the night rolls in. Oh. Burt heads over to the mines on day 66 and realises en route that he can actually knock the blackberries off the bushes. What a revelation. Then it's down into the deep, dark, murky hole. He leaves after a while, mostly because his inventory is full, then heads home to prepare another bundle for the community centre. Oh! On the way, he stops to pick up Linus's blackberry basket. Here it is, which he noticed from the bridge. He hands over the full foraging bundle in the community centre. Excellent work, Burt. Then goes hunting for Linus, but he's not in his tent. Instead, he finds him squatting next to the spa. Burt gives him his basket. These two are becoming good friends. What are you doing up here? Strange little man. At home, just before bed, he crafts 2 preserve jars and fills them with blackberries. On day 67, he gets his first duck egg and first duck mayonnaise. Yes, welcome to the farm felled in the duck, where your firstborn child is instantly pulverized into delicious cream. Duck mayonnaise. Rich yellow mayonnaise. Nice. Okay, we need 24 eggs. He heads into town and puts 24 eggs into Gus's fridge. Then it's time for a little secret. This is one thing that a little birdie told me about. Apparently I take my duck mayonnaise. Oh! Yeah. we get this guy. Pinky Lemon. Who art thou, Pinky Lemon? I'm going to put him down at home next to my bed, of course. Where else would Pinky Lemon live? Welcome to my house, Pinky Lemon. I don't know what purpose Pinky Lemon serves. Kinda cute though. Burt goes for a wander to collect as many blackberries as he can. Take a blackberry, child. Then he cuts down trees for the rest of the day to collect wood. Okay, that's quite enough for today, I think. On day 68, Burt gets a letter stating that he is the greatest neighbour to ever have lived. They're literally giving him money for being so damn great. Gus also sends him an entire damn fridge, and Burt can't work out how to rotate it, so he just puts it in his bedroom, next to Pink Lemon. He heads into town, grabs the ticket for completing the quest, turns it in at Lewis's for some mystery boxes, which he gets destroyed at Clint's, and then hands over the goods at the museum for an obsidian vase. A simple Stardew Valley day. Burt stops by to chat with Leah about his kitchen for some reason, then finds the wandering salesman on the edge of the forest with some interesting things in stock. He also gives his ox a very good spanking. He spends the evening doing admin around the farm, like smelting bars and crafting new sprinklers. On the rainy morning, he does a few bits around the farm, then heads over to Clint's to get his tools upgraded. Then he harvests his first jam from the preserve jars and gets to fishing for the rest of the day with a vague goal to finish up the requirements for the community centre. He heads over to the centre in the night and completes some bundles. Nice, another room complete. Good stuff. Its house was empty for years. The trees moved in and so did we. Burt makes his way home after completing the boiler room. Overnight, he has a vision of the strange little alien jellies dancing around a minecart. Aye, the minecarts have finally been unlocked. That's quite exciting. A new baby chick hatched. Daughter. We're going to call you Pickin. On day 70, it's raining again, and this gives Burt a little time just to get all his eggs lined up with regards to the community bundles. It's also time to test out these minecarts. Mines? Bus stop. Wow, that is snazzy. He heads over to the centre and fills out some of the fishing bundles and makes a start on some of the trickier bulletin requests. Burt needs to catch a bream for the community centre, and Handley Willie is selling some bait. But Burt forgets that bream only appear at night, so he wastes all the bait. Silly old Burt. He does, however, catch a wiggly eel, which he needs anyway. Before he sleeps, he completes the exotic foraging bundle at the centre. On day 71, it's time to start thinking about what Burt wants to present at the Stardew Fair. He gets quite a few things ready, like rare fish, forageables, and other snazzy items. Ooh. He turns in the fall crops bundle, accepts a special quest to collect hardwood for Robin, and gets a reward from Gunther. In the end, what are we all but mayonnaise? Some form of mayonnaise. Burt collects his new steel axe from Clint and chops down some stumps and logs on the farm to start working on Robin's hardwood quest. Out in the forest, he finds a log, and when he wanders a little off the corner of the screen, he enters a new area. There are slimes, but also more importantly, many hardwood stumps. Man, this game just keeps on giving. Kind of insane. There are more stumps beyond the tree line, but Burt isn't sure how to get over there. Old Master Cannoli. Still searching for the sweetest taste. Okay. Burt spends the rest of the evening fishing. On the next morning, Burt ponders what to display at the fair. Duck mayo seems like a good bet, as well as some gold vegetables and rare quality fish. It makes sense to get a good spread, and this is what Burt settles on. So we'll go diamond, crop, artisan, fish, forageable, fruit, artisan, cooking? I don't know. With that decided, it's time to head into the fair. Burt gets right to it, hitting a max score on the strength machine on his first go for 1 magic star token. Then he sets up his display. Diamond, pumpkin, duck mayonnaise, cooking stuff, wild honey, sunflower, cactus fruit, smallmouth bass, star fruit. Burt tries his hand at the slingshot game to earn more tokens, which he immediately loses on the Wheel of Fortune. He tries the fishing game for more token and then chats to the fortune teller.
Yes, my crystal ball. Yes, please. I see you laying on a cot. Looks like a hospital. Linus is there to keep you company while you recover. What a nice friend. Interesting. I see you and Leah working together on a farm. You seem very pleased about something. The crystal ball has moved on. Now I see you harvesting a plump, ripe melon. You're in a wonderful-looking farm, bursting with life. The crystal ball has gone dim.
He gives the Wheel of Fortune another go, then fishes to earn more tokens, then gives the Wheel of Fortune another go, then fishes to earn more tokens. Then tries one last time at the wheel, though this time not with his entire pile of money. Now it's time for Lewis to judge the displays, and...
Did I win?
Yes, I won. Burt uses his winnings to buy a Stardrop fruit, increasing his overall energy levels. Then it's time for bed. Go get some seeds. Oh, it's Wednesday. I am going to go to the Judgment. I'm succumbing. I'm sorry, Pierre. You can't just not open in the middle of the week. I can't. I must resist. Okay. Don't do it. Don't do it, Burt. Don't do it. He heads over to Lewis's in the morning to turn in his prize ticket from the fair and gets a Stardrop tea, which he'll give to Leah. Somewhere he has to find more hardwood, and on the off chance that the wood respawns in that secret area, he heads up there again. The wood does indeed respawn. That's so good. He once again can't figure out how to get to the other part of the woods. Burt just needs one more stump or log, and while he searches his farm, he finds a stone owl in the undergrowth, and another log to the east of his farm. Nice one. He puts the hardwood into Robin's wood bin. Also just going to pop my head into the saloon to see if Leah is in there. Hello, my darling. Oh, it's the big omelette. A table-sized omelette. Zesty bell pepper, juicy tomato, rich mushroom, and tangy cheese, all enrobed in a blanket of rich, fluffy egg. Dig in, folks. These eggs are so rich and yellow. Marnie, are these from your place? Nope. You can thank Burt over at Little Egg Farm. Little Egg eggs. Oh wow, I had a sip of this stuff when I was a kid and I've never forgotten the taste. Do you love me yet, Leah? 3. Yes, I love you. Burt turns in the ticket he got for Robin's quest for a new bed. Every man needs 2 bed. He spends the rest of the evening fishing. When he heads into town the next day, he stumbles across a happening. Here, let me help you, Mr. Mullen. Don't be a creepy old guy right now. Were you watching us? Interesting. I was. You did a kind thing there, Penny. Wasn't that kind. She pushed him out of the way. I'm just taking a walk. I was. You should have asked instead of assuming George wanted help. What a conundrum. I'm literally just taking a walk, minding my own business. I don't really like either of you. Oh no, I'm sorry, miss. I shouldn't have gotten so angry. It was actually very kind of you to help me out. That's okay, Mr. Muller. I understand. I guess the sooner we come to terms with our mortality, the more time we can spend really living in the here and now. Yes, just like me, sat in my bedroom recording a Stardew Valley video. Well, it was interesting talking to you, Burt. I should go. Be your penmeister. He accepts a quest from Demetrius to kill crabs in the mines, buys a heap of cranberry seeds to see out the season on Little Egg Farm, then it's back down into the mines. Burt muscles his way through the dark caves until he finally reaches the bottom of the mines and gets his skull key, whatever the hell that is. Burt goes back to the mine shaft and hunts for crabs to complete the quest, then heads home at 12 AM. On the next day, Burt does a bunch of admin around the farm. I'm going to need a lot more of these, I think, for the coming winter. Crops don't grow in winter, right? Surely it wouldn't make any sense if they did. Then he heads into town. There's another crab quest on the board, which is excellent, really, and he gives Caroline a pumpkin. Pierre's trying to play it cool, but he's seething about losing due at the Stardew Valley fair. Haha. Loser. Oh, the pumpkin, it's a good one. Abigail will be so happy when she sees this. Thanks, Burt. Nice, we've got the next tier of backpack. So much space, so much room. Burt makes his way into the mines to continue hunting crabs and finds a pretty fun book. Monsters have a small chance to drop double loot. Nice. That's really good, I think. And a new sword. Level 7 sword. Before he gets home to bed, he does a little fishing in the river. Oh baby, I caught a bream. Oh, so apparently breams aren't in the sea. Oops. No, I'm going to blame that on Burt. Nothing to do with me. With that new bream, he's able to turn in another bundle and takes a step closer to finishing the community centre. He spends the rest of the day fishing. It's quickly becoming one of Burt's favourite pastimes. On the way home, he pops into the saloon to say hello to the love of his life. He gives her a single cranberry. What a charmer. He also gets to show off his new glowing ring he found. Burt crafts a new keg to up his wine production and another deluxe worm bin for extra bait. He heads to Pierre's in the morning and gets some tree saplings, then heads home to do a big Sunday selling session, as he's currently down to just 388 gold. Burt goes fishing in the rain. He's hunting for a largemouth bass in this mountain lake, collects the insect head sword from Gil, though it's actually worse than the sword he currently has, and then tries to woo Leah with a nautilus fossil he just pulled out of the lake, but she's not so keen. At home, he crafts another preserve jar for extra jam production, and then it's time to see how much he made from today's mass selling session. Whoa! Oh, 28,000 in one night. On the next day, Burt checks his supplies, and he almost has enough for a quality crops bundle. But he only has 4 golden melons, not 5. Poor oversight there, Mr. Burt. He checks out the bookseller and almost splurges on the faster running book, but he doesn't this time. He wants to save up to buy a stable from Robin. When he gets to Robin, she's built a bed from the hardwood we gave her. It's a beauty, but Burt already has 2 beds. He also still needs to get 100 hardwood to build the stable. Better get to work, old Burt. Then it's down into the mines again to kill slimes and collect goodies. On the following day, he heads into town in the rain and picks up the special quest for prismatic jelly. So it's off to the mines, where he spends most of the day. Turns in the slime quest for Lewis for a ticket, but no luck with the prismatic jelly this time. He gets 4 preserve jars for turning in the prize ticket. At home, he sets up the preserve jars and loads them with blackberries. And we come to an obvious conclusion about Stardew Valley. We come to the realization that this is a really good game. It's that simple, really. It's fantastic. I'm in love with it. And I don't know how to escape its twisted claws. It's dug its claws into me. It's sunk its teeth into me. And I can't get out. I'm going on holiday next week. And all I'm going to be thinking about is upgrading my coop, making wine, drinking mayonnaise. With that stunning revelation that Stardew Valley is in fact one of the best games ever made, we're back down into the mines to hunt for the prismatic jelly, but no luck today. The rest of the day just passes underground. On day 80, Burt is once again in the mines, but again no luck, though he does find a bunch of other stuff, primarily a ton of iron ore. 74 iron, lots of other interesting things too. He sleeps and dreams of a new mining level, which unlocks mega bombs. And as Burt is just going about his chores here, I want to point out the prismatic shard in his inventory. Actually one of the rarest items in the game, apparently, as my friend told me after I sent them some clips of me playing. I end up donating it to the museum, which if you're a seasoned Stardew Valley player probably makes you gently grimace. Oh well, we live, we learn, we move, we Burt. Burt crafts 36 megabombs. He's about to go United States on these mines. Before bombing the mines into prehistory, he gets some geodes titillated at Clint's and donates some things to the museum. Bye-bye, prismatic shard, bye-bye. And thus unlocks the Dwarven Dictionary and a massive bear statue. Pretty nice, I guess. Then it's time to start blowing shite up. A little jar of jelly. Oh god. I need to find the prismatic shard. Almost 12 a.m, so let's head back. No prismatic slime today, but he can speak to this dwarf now, which is cool. He also reaches level 10 farming. Artisan goods, wine, cheese, oil, etc. cost worth 40% more. Yes, that's perfect for our mayonnaise empire. He spends most of the day mining, hunting for that special slime, and then heads into town for the Spirits' Eve festival. Burt buys some stuff at the shop, then creepily watches Leah eat blackberries. Then it's into the maze. He figures it out pretty quickly, that's our big brain Burt, and he claims the golden pumpkin as his prize. There isn't much else to do, so he just heads home and gets some rest before another big day. In the morning, he's received some mail about an auto grabber, which sounds horribly industrial, but also something that will save him a lot of time one day. He'll keep it in mind for the new year. Mechanically assisted mayonnaise production. The empire grows, Burt. The empire grows. God, 53 mayonnaise. That's going to be... Oh, baby. That's going to sell for a lot. He heads over to Robin's and buys a barn. Mayonnaise is all well and good, but Burt also loves cheese. Let's put it there for now. Burt heads into the mine for the final chance at finding the prismatic slime. And, well... Oh, I died. He heads over to Marlon's and sheepishly purchases his lost diamond. Burt does just a tiny spot of fishing and does actually catch a largemouth bass, the fish he needs for the community bundle. And he stops to give Marnie the golden pumpkin from the event. This is an incredible gift. No worries. It pays to make friends with the chicken and cow lady after all. Wow. When he gets home, he prepares himself to sell over 60 jars of mayonnaise, the biggest mayo sale yet, and then randomly phones people at 8 PM on a Sunday with the new phone he bought from Robin. Just one last thing before bed, a quick trip to the secret woods for more hardwood stumps. Oh, 17,000. 15,000 gold from our mayonnaise. The mayonnaise empire is growing, Burt. Day one of winter. Nice. When he wakes up, it's the first day of winter and the farm is covered in snow. Winter may be a difficult month on a farm, but for Burt, it's full of possibilities. Mining, fishing, falling in love. All of this is possible when he doesn't have to worry as much about what he's growing in the ice-cold ground. He checks his mail, fingers all frosty at the mailbox. There's a letter from Linus, who sent him a recipe on how to make sashimi. What a talented little freak Linus is, eh? Marlon has also returned his diamond to him. On his way into town, he bumps into a very peculiar little guy. Who the hell's that? You encountered a suspicious-looking figure by the bus stop. When it saw you, it fled toward town. Could there be a clue to its whereabouts? Who's that little guy? He immediately heads into the mountains to see if he can catch any different fish in the winter months. Doesn't seem like it, but maybe I can. I'll keep trying, periodically. There seems to be a lot of these little wormies in the winter, and Burt collects as many as he can find. These guys drop some powder melon seeds, a crop that does actually grow in the winter. He wanders around town admiring the snowy streets and accepts a quest for Gunther to harvest 100 bone fragments. Clint massages his geodes, Gunther gives him a skeleton decoration, and then it's time to head home, lay down some fertilizer and get those melons in the ground. Burt would love to buy another heater for his other coop and to buy some cows, but of course Marnie isn't working. He does, however, barge into her bedroom, they're friends now after the pumpkin, and makes a very interesting discovery indeed. Okay. You rummage through Marnie's dresser, mostly long dresses, but there's a pair of brown suspenders in here as well. Oh goodness. You dig around in Marnie's private drawer, there's nothing of interest. What's this? Lucky purple shorts. Better return to Lewis. Now then, well, Lewis, what have you been up to, you dirty little dog? Filthy little dog, filthy little mare. Just doing all kinds of things to Marnie's barn doors. Goodness. Then he pops up to the secret woods, and maybe it's the magic of winter, but he finally figures out how to get to the other stumps. Wow, it gets dark very early, doesn't it? I guess it is winter. Train is passing through Stardew Valley. Oh, run, Burt, go. Burt sprints through the snow to try and catch a sight of the train. It's a rare event and quite fun, but he gets distracted en route. Hey, I found your footsteps, you little guy. Eep, you caught me. I'm sorry. Take it. It looks so valuable I couldn't help myself. Ooh, what's that? You received the magnifying glass. You now have the ability to find secret notes. These notes reveal rare and useful information and can be reviewed in your collections tab. I'll see you, buddy. Where do I find secret notes? And that train's gone, isn't it? What are secret notes? Where are they? This game is brilliant. There's so much to do. I'm never going to catch that train. I missed it. He digs up some wormies and finds a book, Jack Be Nimble, Jack Be Thick, that grants him a permanent +1 defense.
What should I do with the shorts then? Should I just give them back to Lewis? I feel like I want to keep them in case... Yep, I'm a blacksmith. Cheers, Clint. Oh, Leah's not here. Very cozy in the winter, isn't it? I'm going to keep these shorts. Feel like there could be something interesting that happens with them if I use them at the opportune moment.
On day 2 of winter, Burt reads his mail. Robin has something called a wood chipper, which sounds sort of useless right now, and Willie wants him to catch a squid. He heads over to the secret woods to get his daily hardwood, then pops into Leah's house. She's hard at work on a sculpture.
Oh, hi, Bert. Come in, come in. Oh, I love your house. I'm just working on this sculpture here. Come here, watch this. Revealing the essence of the wood. Once you get past the outer layers, the true nature starts to show. Creepy. May I have a kiss? What? Oh yeah, that's absolutely right. I first visited this valley as a little girl while on vacation with my parents. I knew I had to come back someday. This place has great artistic potential. Although I have to admit, it's not easy to pay the bills as an artist. After that sweet moment with Leah, he buys a new iridium fishing rod from Willie. This one comes with an extra and accessory slot. He attempts to catch a squid, but is unable to do so. He'll need to get an upgrade to make it slightly easier. Burt heads into the mines on the next day, mostly to farm the bone fragments needed for his quest. After a little trial and error, it seems like skeletons spawn on level 70+, so that's where he starts. He also finds his very first secret note, something about a mermaid show. Then he finds another. It's Penny's handwriting. I want to get everyone something they love. Mum, parsnip, glazed yams, no beer. Jazz, fairy rose, plum pudding. Vincent, pink cake, grape. Nice, it's a list of items that they love, I suppose. Wicked. Really handy.
He heads home to rest when it gets late. On the next day, Burt visits Robin and gets her to move his barn a little bit, and then continues farming skeletons in the mines.
Fashion hat. Oh, that is splendiferous.
He reaches 50 bone fragments in 2 days. Not bad, Burt, not bad. He dreams of skills and new recipes, very nice indeed, and checks on his chickens in the morning. They are freezing in their coop.
I think they're cold. Okay, we'll try and buy you a radiator today.
As he waits for Marnie's to open, he stumbles across the wandering salesman again. Burt keeps forgetting this guy turns up every now and then, and manages to buy a coffee bean and a wood skip fish. He needs that for a community bundle. Marnie is working today, thank God, so he buys 2 heaters, one for his chickens, one for the new dairy cows, which he also buys 4 of. Call this one Bulgaria cow. Prue the cow, very nice.
Kilos the cow.
Boyo. Burt goes immediately to the barn and starts tugging on the baby cow udders. No, Burt, that's not how cows work, and gets them set up with the new heater. Don't worry, he doesn't forget about the chickens. They are, after all, the main mayo providers. Then it's back towards the mines. On the way, he pops into Marlon's and gets a skeleton mask reward for killing skellies.
Whoa.
Then gets to work farming bone fragments. On the next day, Burt gets a letter from Clint asking him to help out a little bit with Emily. Burt is almost curious to try and woo Emily himself, but he has his sights set on Leah.
Yeah.
Then, once again, it's down the mines for old Burt, though he has almost got all the bone fragment he needs. He does find this really quite strange secret note.
It's a page from someone's diary.
There are only a few older bachelors in town, and none of them are perfect. Harvey is really anxious and weak, but I know he would make a loyal and devoted husband. He likes coffee and pickles. Elliot is a bit foppish and melodramatic, but he does have a nice chin. He likes crab cakes and pomegranates. That is an unhinged note.
Who wrote that? Psychopath.
Burt finally completes the bone fragment quest and then hurries home to get some sleep.
Good stuff, Burt.
In the morning, Pierre's at the door. Burt doesn't really like Pierre.
I should have 1 new variety per season. Well, that's all I wanted to say. Have a good one. You know, I wouldn't even bother trying my competitor's seeds. Pierre's seeds are the highest quality seeds you'll find anywhere. That's a promise. Sure, Pierre, sure.
After that nonsense, Dimitris hits him up with a double mail, a recipe on how to make fried mushrooms, and a free Nautilus shell, which Burt also needs for the community centre. He also gets a letter about the ice festival tomorrow, and then goes to check on his cows.
I think I can milk you. Burt's gonna milk you.
Burt's gonna milk you good. He heads over to Clint's to get his geodes ruined and also upgrade his pickaxe to a gold one. And then he donates the bones at the museum to complete the quest for Gunther.
Drum block, steel chair. Ooh.
Burt goes to the beach and digs up wormies. He's looking for snow yams to finish the community bundle, and then pops into Elliot's house, seeing as they're just such good friends now.
Hello, Elliot.
I'm sitting in your bed waiting for you to come home. Then it's off to the community centre to complete Demetrius's field research bundle, which rewards him with another recycling machine. When he gets home, his phone is mysteriously ringing in his bedroom. You hear a robotic voice on the other end. Congratulations, you have a 10,000 Jojo rebate waiting for you. Please mail your credit card number to 113 N Gunjan Suzuzu. Spam. Wicked. Gunther's got a letter for him in the morning. A bone mill which turns bone items into fertilizer. Very useful indeed. Burt gets to work on a stone path, because why not? He's just killing time until the ice festival anyway. He heads down to the woods and admires some of the sculptures and gets ready for the ice fishing competition. This small child is just walking across the ice, which doesn't make Burt feel great. Where's Linus then? Where's he hiding? I know he's got to be around here somewhere. There's the wizard. Go say hello to him. And there's Linus. Igloo buildings and art I picked up from the tundra dwellers who live beyond the frozen sea. Right. How did we do? I feel like we should have won that, to be honest, Burt. Burt wins the competition. Of course he does. Everyone in Pelican Town is going to hate Burt eventually. He's just too brilliant. Brilliant little Burt. When he gets home, he puts down the snowman rarecrow he bought at the event shop. Burt doesn't have any real friends, he just has his scarecrows. On the following wintry day, Burt heads to the community centre after finding a snow yam in a worm pile and completes yet another bundle at the community centre. He gets a big pile of winter seeds as a reward, which is very handy indeed. He goes fishing for hours, just seeing if he can catch any different fish in the winter. And it turns out he can. A sturgeon. Sturgeon. Nice. One he also needs for another bundle. Let's go, Burt. You're almost there. Nice. Another bundle down. Dressed spinner. Overnight, he is once again rewarded with an out-of-body experience as he gets to watch the Junimos rebuilding the bridge. What's on the other side? Who knows? First of all, though, Burt's got to go squeeze some udders. Nice. Our first milk. Milk is great, but cheese is better, so Burt builds some cheese presses. Then he just gets to fishing again to fulfill a perch-related quest. In all his fishing-related flurry of activity, he finds a notice board on the beach. Squidfest, Friday the 12th and Saturday the 13th, a 2-day squid fishing bonanza. You can reach our daily catch targets, you'll win prizes. A Squidfest. It's the type of thing that means something very, very different in the big city, but for Burt, it's all about getting his fingers wrapped around a good pair of slimy tentacles. He fishes for the rest of the day. Goddamn, Burt just loves fishing. On the next day, his morning routine continues as normal. He collects the eggs, gives the chickens some hay, refreshes the mayonnaise machines, milks the cows, feeds them, turns the milk into cheese, and then checks on anything else, like his tappers, preserve jars, or kegs. It's a lot of work for one man, but he does it every single morning. To relax after all that work, he just goes fishing for most of the day, hunting for perch, not work-related, not at all, and then gets a new rarecrow from Gunther for submitting more things to the museum. Not a job, not at all. He also gives Leah a gift. Not a job, he does it for love. Another friend to add to our collection. Burt doesn't have any real-life friends. He only has these scarecrows. Oh. Nice and sleepy on the farm. Nice. Making bank off fish and cheese, baby. Fish and cheese. In the morning, Gunther's on the doorstep with a heartfelt message and a rather stinky gift. Good morning, Mr. Bird. Hello. I hope it's not too early. Well, I just wanted to stop by and thank you in person for all the wonderful artifacts and minerals you've discovered. You've done so much for one person. In fact, I've just received a letter from the Office of the Regional Secretary of Artifacts. We're being honoured with the coveted Golden Shovel Award for our significant contributions to the field. And it's all thanks to you. Well, I should let you get back to your work. Give me something. Oh, I almost forgot. I have a gift for you. It's an old key that's been sealed in the museum vault for at least 100 years. It's a little rusty, but still beautiful. I know what that's the key for. That's the key for the poo hole. Oh, I'm gonna go look at the poo hole. Demetrius also sends us the blueprint for a farm computer. I always viewed Stardew Valley as sort of timeless in a world without computers, and it feels somehow wrong to ever craft this, so I don't think we'll bother. At least not until our farm is much, much bigger. There's also just one last letter from the wizard, who's looking for some void essence. Yeah, you like it when Burt touches your udders, don't you? Cheeky little cows. It's at this point that me and Burt have been playing Stardew Valley for almost 8 hours straight. Can you tell? At 10 AM, Burt heads down to the beach for Squidfest for a long, hard day of squidding. He squids all day and then squids all over his prizes, books, coffee and other goodies. Then he squids home. On the next day, it's Burt's plan to head to the desert and into the cave that he has the key for, presuming that's what it's actually for. First, he goes to Marlon's gaff to see if he's got a better weapon, but the place is shut and Burt gets distracted anyway. The bridge is open and it leads to some sort of quarry area. Burt is prepared for this with plenty of bombs to level the entire place. It is immensely satisfying. God, it's like the Second World War in here. This also leads him to a brand new hole to check out. There's a skull sign, a good omen. Burt ventures down into the muck, defeating flying skeletons on the way. He picks up a couple of silly secret notes.
What is this place? It's Sam's holiday shopping list. Everyone's favourite. Sebastian, frozen tear. Wow, I'm just going to know everything. Everyone's dirty, dirty little secret. Interesting. Like a treasure map.
And he does some serious gaming to avoid dying to the skeletons and flying skeletons. Not bad, Burt. You're learning. Slowly.
Oh my god, this is going to get a little hairy.
My creamy little Padawan. He reaches the end of the tunnel and is rewarded with the golden scythe. Nice reward, old boy. As he returns to the surface, Linus calls him over to his tent.
Burt, come stand next to the fire pit. It feels great. I was hoping you'd come by sometime. I wanted to say sorry for mistrusting you at first. Most people don't treat me well, so I've learned to be cautious. But you've been uncommonly nice to me. You're a unique person, and I consider you a good friend. Hey, I want to show you something. Come inside. Oh god, Burt. Linus is going to get his... Oh. There we go. See this? It's a special kind of fish bait that I make. It's top quality stuff. I'd eat it myself. Here, I want you to have the recipe. Learned how to craft wild bait. Gives you a chance to catch 2 fish at once. Fiber, bug meat, and slime. Damn, that is cool, actually. Eventually, Burt is able to do the one task he set out to do today. Check Marlon's to see if he has a better weapon, which he does, the lava sword. But it's a little expensive for right now. And just one extra task before bed, he tracks the treasure down from the secret note and digs up a rare doll. After all that, Burt's forgotten to deliver a very important, very sad gift to Willie. Oh, he's not here. Well, that was a waste. This quest here. I'd like to put copper bar on my great-grandfather's tombstone. Please deliver it sometime today. I said, yeah, sure, Willie, I'll bring you one, and then I completely forgot. Pretty rude of me, isn't it? Jesus, Burt. But the next day is a new day. There's a letter in the mail about a travelling fleet of merchants, which sounds pretty amazing. Then it's off to the desert and down into the caves. It's immediately obvious how much tougher the mobs down here are, even the little blue slimes. Things get significantly tougher when Burt falls down a tube. Oh my god. Oh my god, I need to get out of it. Okay. Yeah, that was... that was a little scary. I'm going to need to be better prepared. I need to bring some food and all kinds of stuff with me, I think. Burt hurries home. He needs to be more prepared for the caves, obviously. He sets up his new mannequin in his bedroom. New mannequin friend. Hello? My name's Burt. This is my farm. This is where I live. This is my big bear. This is my fridge. My empty fridge. He heads into town and picks up a trash quest for Linus. Well, Linus, you're in luck because the pond on my farm is absolutely full of trash. Hey, nice cap, lady. In the evening, he heads down to the floating market to see what it's all about. He grabs a free coffee from this fella, then heads down into the deep sea in this submarine. It's giving Titan sub, and Burt feels uncomfortable. Blobfish. Blobfish. Get me out of here! That's quite enough of that. He buys a painting from this artist and some iridium bars, very handy, from the travelling merchant. Then Burt watches this truly bizarre mermaid show. What was in that coffee? What is going on? It's kind of beautiful, though. He uses the secret note he found to complete the clam puzzle, and the weird mermaids give him a pearl. Very nice. While fishing for trash on the next day, he finds another secret note treasure map, and when he's done fishing, he heads down to the market again, buys another painting, and a puffer fish needed for the community centre. He watches the mermaid show again, but apparently you can only get one pearl. On the next day, he heads up to the recycling bin and fulfills Linus's quest for trash. Then it's down into the mines to farm ore and other items like secret notes, including this one from his dear granddad. My dear grandchild, by the time you find this note, I expect you'll have been living in the valley for quite some time. Hope things are going well. I'm honoured that you're continuing the family tradition of farming and through that noble endeavour bringing greater life and abundance to all of Stardew Valley, a place very dear to my heart. Keep up the good work. P.S. I've hidden a very special secret for you somewhere in the valley. You might think of it as a compendium of my greatest discoveries. Someday, when you're ready, you'll find it. And this letter from Leah, poppy seed muffin. Burt will keep this in mind, for reasons, of course. He gets a couple of letters in the morning, one from Linus with a fiber seed recipe, and another from Lewis about this winter feast coming up. Hey Burt, it's me, Pierre. How are you doing? Good? That's good. Well, I just wanted to say that I appreciate your business, and I'd like to remind you that Pierre's general store carries the finest seeds and produce anyway. I hope to see you in the store very soon. Wow. Getting cold called by the greengrocer. Burt spends the day doing chores like collecting hardwood and cutting down trees on the farm, and that about wraps up that day. On the following day, it's off to the desert again to give the skull caverns another shot. He makes decent progress, blowing stuff up with bombs mostly, but doesn't manage to get that far. Burt will need to bring tent kits and extra food for future expeditions. He heads home to get some sleep. Emily's at the door on the next day, offering up her sewing machine, wink wink nudge nudge. Unfortunately, Burt has no cloth at all, none of it. He completes his morning task, then makes a plan to fulfill some of these quests: an iron bar for Clint, an amethyst for Emily, and some void essence for the wizard. He first checks to see if Emily is working, but she's not in the saloon yet, and he finds her at home. Oh, my favourite stone, you're so sweet. It's from who? Oh, you got it at Clint's? Well, I don't care where you got it from. Thank you, smooch. She gave me a smooch. Sorry, Clint. Then it's off to see the wizard, the wonderful wizard of Pelican Town. He gets home at 6 p.m, the day passes in a blur. Burt crafts some tent kits so that he can eventually explore the skull caverns. And while he's cutting down trees for wood, he gets a special note. Secret note from the tree. Nice. If you can read this, come to Secret Woods. Please bring maple syrup. I will. What is that? That's from? Is it the mouse person from the shop? In the morning, there's a letter from Robin, who wants more hardwood. She just loves hardwood. He heads over there straight away to give her the wood, but is interrupted by a bathing Linus. Oh, hello. Ah, that feels good. Having a little ice bath, are ya? The water's never been cleaner. Hey, it's because I cleared out all the trash. The same goes for me. Before he can get to Robin's, he hears a train in the distance and quickly hurries to see it pass. Burt sits on the bench on the station and watches the train go by, ruminating on how much has changed in the last year. A friend, a mayonnaise king, a hero of Pelican Town, and so on. He does in the end give Robin the wood and gets the good lady to upgrade one of his coupes to a deluxe coupe. Let's go get my geodes licked. Licked. By Clint. Oh, it's shut. Oh, hi Leah. I should probably give you a gift, huh? What about eggplant parmesan? This is a really nice gift, thank you. No problem. On his way to collect his daily hardwood, he buys an orange office stool, because why not? He collects some hardwood and finds another note, which he struggles to decipher. Up, right down, left down, tip. He tries the pattern outside his house, but that doesn't work. In the morning, he collects some pale ale that is finely brewed from saved up hops, perfect for Pam. He picks up a fishing quest from the town board and then gets his geodes breathed on by Clint. 10 coal pops out of one, which is perfect, because Clint had actually asked for 10 coal just that morning. Alright, let's go see what happens when I take the maple syrup to the woods. Oh. That's a bear. That smell. Come closer. Yeah, not every day I get to speak to a human. Looks like you've got a little forest magic in you. Now, about my notes, did you bring the good stuff? I sure did. Oh, that smell. This is really sweet stuff. My favourite sauce. It makes me very happy. You've made a friend today, Burt. I've got something special I want to show you. The bear left you with his special knowledge. Salmon berries and blackberries are now worth 3 times the gold. Well, that's fun. I've actually got a bunch of blackberries still on the farm. So maybe they're worth more than jam now. See how much these blackberries sell for then. And let's go give Pam her pale ale before I forget. There she is. Hey, go back here. Give me that slur. That's the good stuff. It's real nice and hoppy. Notes of citrus and pine, but a robust body to keep it grounded. Thanks, kid. This means a lot to me. I know I could count on you. He spends the rest of the day fishing to complete the river fish quest, then tries to decipher another secret note. Nice. Easy peasy. Now, I'm curious about this secret note. It's the one with the moon and the... So that's at like 20 to 1 at night. I need to find like what bush that is. Looks like a bridge. There's a bridge down here. Yeah, that looks right. This bush. Okay, let's
going to stand here and wait. Hiding behind here. I wonder what will be in the bush. Okay. 10 minutes. Go. Who's that? It was Marnie and Lewis. Oh, those cheeky little devils. That's so funny. I mean, you do you guys. I'm not judging. Oh god, we need to get home. But I don't want you to pass out because we've been watching 2 Pelican Town citizens dogging in a bush. Run! Run! After that night of sordid affairs, he gets a recipe for cauliflower cheese from Pam, most likely with half a bottle of whiskey in it, and checks out his new deluxe coupe. Look at this place. Got an auto feeder, so now all we need to do is keep it stocked up with hay, and it should just feed them automatically overnight. Then it's off to get his geode stimulated by Clint, and he gets a treasure chest, which is fun.
Wow, we're just making... Whoa, 5k for the treasure chest. Nice.
Little bit of mail. Dear Burt, tomorrow is the Feast of the Winter Star. Did you get a gift for your secret friend Evelyn? Oh no, I forgot about that. What on earth should we give her? I'm thinking a diamond. Really splash out. I am the rich farmer on the edge of town, you know, so I feel like I should be treating these peasants to the fruits of my labour. So I'll give Evelyn a diamond. Why not? He pops over to Robin's to get a stables built. He can't wait to get a horse, and then grabs some hardwood and clears trees on the farm as he's running low on wood after building the stable. Ooh. Santa. Hello? On the next day, he heads into town in the morning to enjoy the Feast of the Winter Star. He gives Evelyn the diamond. She seems pleased, obviously, and George gives Burt a nautilus shell. It's fine. Whatever. He already has like 6 of these, old man. Ooh, I've had too much. No. The feast takes up the entire day. It's a lovely festive affair, but Burt is still full of energy, so he cuts down a bunch of trees before bed. In the morning, there's a letter from Gus asking for an albacore, and then Burt goes and tugs on some udders. He hates the sound the cows make when their udders are dry. Ew. He buys a rabbit at Marnie's. Why not? He does need cloth, even if it's made out of rabbit. A bit sick, really, but whatever. And buys some goat's cheese from the travelling merchant, another item he needs for the community bundle. Burt catches an albacore quickly for Gus and then pops his head into the cosy saloon. Very festive in here, isn't it? These two cuties. Depressing, huh? Clint, cheer up. After a lovely evening at the saloon, he gets some rest. In the morning, he hurries over to his new stables and, of course, his brand new valiant steed. He has just the name in mind. Humpty. Oh, yes. Now we're cooking with gas. Burt races around town on Humpty and races up to the mines to kill slimes. This does not go to plan. In fact, the plan is totally destroyed, ripped up, and set on fire. I died before I could get my last slime. God damn it. So annoying. Thank you, Linus. Yes, killed by a slime. They always get their revenge in the end, Burt. It's the last day to turn in the quest, however, so Burt heads down into the hole again and, well... There's one. No! Okay. That's so dumb. Sorry, Linus, thank you. I lost 5,000 gold for those endeavours. God damn it. Okay. Alright, I call it quits. I lose. I suck. Etc, etc. Let's just go to bed. I'm just gonna call it quits on this day. That's enough, Burt. What a waste. Ah, the last day of the year. What a fitting way to end the first year on the farm, dying twice to red slimes. He pops to Marnie's to buy hay. He's running a little low with so many animals to feed. And grabs a peach from the travelling merchant, another essential item for the community centre. Then it's a couple of fishing quests, some sardines for Willie, and a midnight carp for Evelyn. Oh, hi Sebastian. Let's have a little cigarette by the lake, are you? I wish I could summon my horse like Shadowfax. That would be real nice. Come to me, Humpty. Come to me, Humpty. Please, Humpty. Okie coke. Let's get some sleep. And begin a new year in Stardew Valley, but wow, what a journey. Level 10 fishing. I'm gonna go for... I just love treasure, so... treasure it is for me. I love getting treasure. Wow. We have a lot to do, Burt. A lot. Good morning, Stardew Valley. And that wraps up a year in Stardew Valley. Wow, what a game. I mean, I had no idea that it would grab me this much, and I suppose it makes sense that it did grab me so much. There are tens of thousands of rave reviews. It's a really cozy, strange game, and it's overflowing with mayonnaise goodness, so what's not to love, I guess. I hope you've enjoyed this first year on the farm. If the response is good, we'll do another year. And thanks for watching, my sweet eggs. May the mayonnaise flow creamily over your day. See you later.